Welcome back, guys. Today I want to look at this Maxillius the Harvester figure. This is from the newest Necronominus wave for Mythic Legions. I got this one and a few others from retail. I'm pretty excited to open this one. This is the one I wanted to look at first. I actually did want to give a quick little heads up. I tried these out from Wolf King Customs, and with each one of their figures, they sent out some 3D prints. So with Maxillius here, I got this this extra kind of feline skull head sculpt and this axe weapon here. These both came with Maxillius, and with the other figures I got at retail from them, I got some other free 3D prints, so I think that's pretty neat. Alright, let's pop them open. Alright, let's break them out of his little plastic cell here. Before we do, I want to take a quick look. We have Maxillius on the side with a bio here. We have the back. Beautiful art of the Big Bone Daddy himself. Cross-sale with some of the other images from the figures in the line. And we have there the faction symbol for Necronominus. Alright, let's pop it open. Got some goodies in the back. See anything else? Nope, just the figure himself. Let's get these twist ties out. Alright, got the twist ties out. First look at the figure himself. That is a cool head sculpt. I like that from the first promo shots I saw of this line. I got into Mythic Legions after this line was announced and released and ordered and all that stuff. But this is the line I've been the most excited for. This is actually some of the stuff that really got me interested in following the line to begin with, was pictures of this line. We also get this included head sculpt. Another skeleton head here. Even though it's a basic skeleton head, I mean, there's so much work put into that. It looks really, really nice. So another really cool accessory. They kind of knock it out of the park with some of their accessories. That is cool. Got an extra set of hands. These I like to imagine as like the "You're Coming With Me" kind of pointing death hands. Very cool. We have like this necklace piece here with a, feels like a real metal chain there to go around his neck and to hang off in front of him. This one I have here is a little warped. Nothing a little heat gun can't fix and straighten out. And the scythe. You can see from that compared to my hand, it's a pretty good sized blade on that. Compared to Maxillius himself, it's taller than he is. But that is really neat. Some nice detailing on that. Alright, let's take a little closer look at Maxillius here. He does have this big backpack piece that feels and looks like it's ported into like where you put pauldrons. Yeah, there we go. So where you put pauldrons on the figure, that's where this backpack piece is ported into. So we can pop that off, and we have his robe here. It just has this little slip knot we can loosen up a bit. As you can see, it's just a little slip knot. We can loosen that up. Don't want to undo it. I'll just loosen it up so I can shimmy it off of him here. And take a look at the cloak real quick. We can notice a couple things. There is a wire running through this, so we can kind of get a good shape around his head. Do have it a little bit pointy here. I'm sure we can get that flattened out. And there is wire that runs through the sleeves, so we can kind of shape that as we like. The bottom of it, there's no wire, but it is this nice tattered, kind of see the way the light passes through it. Nice, really tattered effect to the end of this cloak. And try to take this cloak off him just to get a look at the body underneath. Let's pop the head off. Pop the head off. See if we can get it just by rotating his arms up and kind of shimmying it off that way. It's kind of pulled up the cape from the bottom and kind of turning it inside out. Looks like that's the trick here. And just working it carefully over him so it doesn't snag on these little bits around him. And yeah, as long as his shoulders are kind of pushed in where his elbows are as close as they can get together, we should be able to just pop that off. And have a look at the buck here. Alright, there he is. Same as that Skeleton Legion Builder 2.0. This is a little different shade, though, looking at him comparatively. But other than that, it's the same body. These new hips are really cool versus the old style skeletons. I just like this whole upper body and the new added articulation in there. Alright, this will probably be the best time to look at articulation. It's going to be very similar to others, but so we can go through it. Head, he can look down that far. Up, he can look up that far. We can get kind of a rock out of the side of his head, side to side. And of course he can spin all the way around. In the arms, I didn't heat him up. I'm doing this. I actually just opened the shipping box. So don't do what I do what I say. Go slowly and use heat. But I am a trained professional. I'm also in Houston, Texas, so it is never cold here. So he's fine. But yeah, we can get like a T-pose out of him. We have a little bit better than 90 at the elbows. We have the joints at the wrists. This is a vertically hinged gripping hand. And this is a horizontally hinged gripping hand. Get some good flexation out of that. At that joint up in the diaphragm, we have side to side this much. We have forward this much. Back this much. The legs, because of the way those are, we can get better than splits here. We can get a kick out to the front. I mean, almost as far up as you want to go. It's really just riding on that hip bone. And kick back almost again as far as you want to go. Just starting to ride there. We have a single jointed knee, but that gives us quite a bit better than a 90. And we have good down point with the toes, good up, and of course a really nice ankle rocker. These things have awesome articulation and a ton of personality in the skeletons. I'm really, really looking forward to getting my hands on the Graveyard Skeletons pack that's coming out. Have that on order. Can't wait for it to arrive. All right, and here we have Maxillius all kitted up with all of his accessories. The only thing we're missing is that extra head sculpt and those pointing hands. I think he looks like a total menace here. I was reading up on his bio and it talking about how he goes out ahead of Necronominus, sometimes years ahead of his arrival, to start getting the army of the dead prepared, almost like I was thinking of him as almost like a herald of Necronominus, and it made me think of one of my favorite comic book characters, Silver Surfer, right? Since I was a kid, probably in one of the old Fantastic Four cartoons or something, I remember seeing the Silver Surfer being a herald of Galactus, and for whatever reason, I just fell in love with that character, but reading on him in comics and all that stuff, I've just always liked him, and for some reason, the idea of him being a herald of the World Eater Galactus, always found that really cool. So that just made me even like Maxillius a little bit more, thinking of him in that light, coming ahead to almost like a forewarning to people, a bad omen of his approach or something like that. Really neat. And here we see the alternate head sculpt and one of those pointing hands, looking a little bit more like a traditional death coming after you. And here we have him with some of that armament stripped off of him to have just the robe look here, looking a little even more traditional, like a death figure. I think this figure is super versatile. I was a little bit confused at first when I saw people were buying so many copies of him, but I understand what people saw before I saw it. Just the versatility. I mean, this buck is just so cool, just the skeleton figure himself, and that he has the cloak here, that he has the other armaments to be the, a named figure like like Maxillius here. A lot of versatility, and you certainly couldn't hurt yourself by having a few of these in hand. Little scale comparison here. Here we have Maxillius, and on the right, a Mythic Legions Ninian Infantry, kind of a standard height figure, and on the left, this is one of the Dwarf Legion builders that I've painted up. Obviously fits in perfect. He's meant to. And here we have him with a Mythic Legions Ogre scale on the right, and one of the Zesray Studios Combatant Series Roman soldiers on the left. I could see Maxillius being a really good stand-in for death figure in almost any of your 1/12 or 1/12 plus scale figures. And finally, here we have him with a Savage Crucible figure on the left, and one of the Dinosaur Battlefield T-Rex figures on the right. Alright, so time for some final thoughts. I'll keep this one short because there's not a whole lot to say in a good way for this figure. I think he's amazing. I'm really, really happy with him. This might be one of those things where it's your style or it's not, and this is exactly my style. Even without Mythic Legions, I would have wanted this figure. As I said earlier, some of the pictures of this wave were part of the reason I even bought into Mythic Legions in the first place. This being one of the couple figures from the wave that really grabbed my attention. I think there's a ton of versatility with him between the stuff he comes with and the figures you can make out of him, either being a stripped-down skeleton, a more classic death, Maxillius himself, or some combination of things in between there. Everything is really well executed. I think he comes with a good amount of accessories and everything for what he is. The entire skeleton is painted and finished and washed and looks excellent on its own. And the scythe and the hourglass that he comes with are fantastically detailed. I don't know really what there is as a negative to say about this figure. I don't really have any negatives. No figure is perfect, but I'm struggling to come up with something that I don't like about him. I really try not to gush, and I try to give an honest take on things, and everything has some negative, but I just am not seeing it at this moment. Right now, I'm really, really liking this figure. I'm really in love with it. I'm happy I got it. I'm even more blown away with where I got it, with those free 3D prints I got with Lone Wolf. So we'll take a look at the other Lone Wolf stuff I got with the other figures from this wave I ordered from them as I do videos on those. And until next time, you guys have a great day. Thanks.